Andrew Ervin, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Un grand merci d'avoir accepté l'invitation de la Fringale Culturelle. On est ravis de faire votre connaissance. Vous êtes de passage à Paris. Vous vivez, si je ne me trompe pas, vous êtes même né là-bas. Vous vivez et vous êtes donc né à Philadelphie. Vous êtes diplômé en philosophie de la religion et vous avez déjà écrit plusieurs nouvelles qui ont été déjà publiées. Et aujourd'hui, c'est vos premiers pas dans la littérature avec ce premier roman. La maison de Georges Orwell, disponible aux éditions Joelle Losfeld, et on est ravis de parler de ce bouquin avec vous parce qu'il nous a plu.
Being in France today is a tremendous honor. I think throughout the world we consider France to be the center of cultural life. This is the artistic capital of the world, this is the creative capital of the world. To have my book appear here is certainly a milestone in my life. I could not be any happier about this. I've been reading Proust on my way here, and sort of in translation, and in doing so I've tried to soak up a little bit more of the local literary history. What has happened in this city in particular, in the arts and in literature, is unparalleled in the world. So this is a true joy for me.
Alors justement, quand vous avez écrit ce livre, est-ce que vous pensiez qu'un jour vous allez être publié en France?
It never occurred to me that this would happen in France. There's nothing comparable in the world, I don't think, to being published here in this famous building, perhaps the very center of literature worldwide. I had no expectation that this could happen.
Alors Andrew Ervin, premier roman que vous nous proposez donc chez nous en librairie depuis le 14 janvier aux éditions Joelle Losfeld. Dans ce premier roman, vous parlez d'un personnage qui s'appelle Ray. Il a fait fortune à Chicago en adaptant les théories de Georges Orwell dans le marketing. Et puis il est à un moment donné de sa vie où il n'en peut plus, il est un peu en train d'exploser et il va partir s'exiler sur l'île écossaise de Jura. Comment est née l'idée de ce roman? Pourquoi vous voulez raconter l'histoire de Ray?
The idea started with the Isle of Jura itself and with Georges Orwell. The 1984 in particular has become, I think, the dominant metaphor in at least American culture. We constantly talk about Big Brother and thought crime and thought police, and you are carrying Big Brother in your pocket today with your camera, your phone. We were discussing this earlier. Every time we go to the bank, every time we drive our car, the potential for Big Brother is everywhere. And I wanted to write a book about what sacrifices we make in accepting this state of affairs. We surrender some amount of personal freedom in exchange for convenience, for Google, for all of these safety devices that we now have. So I started with Orwell and that book in particular, that novel. Then the question arose of why did Orwell write this novel as far from civilization as possible? When there's a book about constant surveillance by the government, it would make sense to me, for my writing style, to be in a very crowded city, to be someplace where I'm surrounded by social media and technologies. Orwell did the opposite. Orwell got as far from the world as possible, as far from London, as far from Paris. He got to off the grid. This seemed like a conundrum to me, or a paradox. And that paradox, I think, was at the center of the book. What I've discovered is that I had started to think about the busy city and the bucolic countryside as somehow in opposition. With this book, I started to realize that they are more closely related than they are different.